I just started HRT like today. Let's talk about it. Basically, here in Norway, getting HRT is a lot harder than, say, in the US or other places that may be easier. Here, there is 3 ways you can acquire HRT. 1, you can just absolutely luck out, get a doctor who knows about trans people, know how all this shit works, and can just prescribe you blockers and hormones right away. This is obviously the best outcome, but almost literally never fucking happens ever, because there's so little research and so little knowledge of trans people in Norway. Second way, it's through the government. This is through what's called Riksen, which is the largest hospital in Norway. Now, the third option of getting HRT in Norway is do it privately. And this is the road I took. This is the one I ended up going with. The private road of starting HRT is very simple, actually. You go to your general doctor, your practitioner, whatever, your family doctor. You go and say, I want to start HRT, and I'm just letting you know that I'm planning to do this. This is very, very, very important to do. Then you have to find a psychiatrist, sexologist, or somebody who works in the medical field who can help you. I found a psychiatrist who also happened to be a sexologist at the same time. How I found one, I literally just slammed into Google sexologist, psychiatrist, and my town. And that is literally what I did. I just shot her an email. And she was very gracious and very kind and gave me that first meeting for free. But if it wasn't free, that would have costed me $150 for a single hour-long conversation. We basically just started talking about my life, about what I thought about gender, what I think about gender, what I think about HRT, the risks behind it, the medical side of everything, family history. Like, I'm telling this story very quickly, but keep in mind, this is years, okay? Like, I started going to my doctor about 3.5 years ago now, talking and asking about HRT, and she knew nothing. So I had to research all this shit my fucking self. I went to the sexologist 4 or 5 times over the course of 5 months. She was like, I think you can get on HRT. I think you need to, and I think you should. That was very important because you need a sexologist or a psychiatrist or both, their consent to start HRT. And then I had to pay another $150 for her to basically write a summary and a recommendation to the doctor for HRT. Then I had to be on his waiting list for 6 weeks. Not only was it 6 weeks of waiting time, but I personally had to email like 4 times to like get a hold of him, partially because he was busy, sick because it was holidays, and also my email got buried. Norway works very much on you gotta do a lot of your shit yourself, like research, contacting, talking. A lot of the time, the knowledge you think somebody else may have, they don't. And you have to have it yourself. I had that first conversation with him. He had gotten the recommendation and the letter and everything, and he had read it over and thought that everything looked fine. But to be on the super secure side, I then have to go and get a blood test. And here's where a lot of money is going to be spent. For the blood test, I had to pay completely everything out of pocket, which is $150. Then it was $220 for the actual conversation with the doctor itself. Then I had to talk to my regular doctor again to give consent for the HRT doctor to get a bunch of medical records. And then today I had to have another conversation with the doctor, the HRT doctor, which again, $220. And then we talked more about like the side effects of estrogen, the side effects that can be reversed, because yes, that is a thing. You can reverse a lot of hormonal changes. And then because I'm doing all of this privately, my prescription isn't a regular prescription. In Norway, if a doctor says, yeah, you need this medication, we need to give you this prescription, and you go pick that up, that will be free. If you don't absolutely need that medication though, that cost me $60-ish. All in all, so far, with not counting food, gas for the car, because I've been obviously driving everywhere to get all this, tolls, because we have tolls in Norway. Without all those things counted, we are well over $2,200-ish, give or take. If we're going to count like gas, food, all of that on top of it, I will say I've spent probably around like 3.4K on all of this. So if you are thinking of starting HRT and you live in Norway, save the fuck up. Have like 4K in the back pocket that you can just burn. Also, I want to be very transparent about this, I didn't just spend 4 years like sitting there, like talking to every doctor known to man and research and doing that over and over again. A lot of this time was also spent socially transitioning. Obviously voice training, thinking about the risks, because there are side effects to HRT that are very real to not want to be on or risk, especially if you have a family history of blood clots, cancer, breast cancer, stomach cancer, high blood pressure, things like that. Those are very valid things and concerns and very valid reasons to not start HRT. That doesn't make you less trans. That doesn't make you less insert whatever gender you want to be here. It just means that you understand the risks and you don't want to take them. And that is exactly why it's so important to research, to inform yourself. That is how I got on HRT. That is the entire story. And if you have any and all questions, please feel free to ask.